He left home at sunset, a gentle young man who always smiled, always greeted elders, always helped children carry their buckets. Everyone loved him. He walked into the forest humming a soft tune. But when he returned the next morning, something was wrong. He did not greet anyone. He did not blink normally. His eyes were cold, too cold. His hands hung beside him like they didn't belong to his body. And when his mother ran to hug him, crying with relief, he did not lift his arms to hug her back. That was when she knew. The boy who left her house was not the thing that had just walked back inside. But she didn't know the truth yet. She didn't know she had welcomed something else into her home, something that looked like her son, but wasn't human at all. My name is Patience. Before I tell you this story, hear me well. Sometimes the most dangerous thing you can welcome into your life is the thing that looks familiar. Follow this story to the end, and you will understand exactly what I mean. Ojumo village was a quiet place surrounded by a forest so deep and wide that even the oldest men had never walked through it completely. People respected the forest. They fetched firewood only in groups. They entered with fear and left quickly. But Tunde was different. Tunde was 19, humble, hardworking, and full of peace. His mother, Mama Tola, always said he was born with a gentle spirit. He helped everyone, carried water for elders, washed plates, played with children, repaired broken stools. The whole village trusted him. But Tunde loved the forest too much. He said it made him feel alive. He said the wind inside it sang to him. Mama Tola always warned him, "Tunde, don't let the forest catch you after dark. Some things don't like the company of humans at night." Tunde would laugh softly, "Mama, nothing will happen." He was wrong. One evening, he stepped into the forest to gather firewood. He promised to return before sunset. That was the last time Mama Tola saw her real son. Hours passed. The sun disappeared. The village grew quiet. Mama Tola waited, then began to tremble. She asked neighbors for help. They searched with lanterns, calling his name, shouting into the trees. But the forest swallowed all their voices. Late that night, when even the animals had gone silent, Mama Tola sat outside her doorway. She could not sleep. She whispered prayers with shaking hands. Then, at exactly 4:12 a.m., she heard footsteps. Slow, heavy, dragging. "Tunde," she called with a voice full of hope and fear. He stepped into the compound. He was dirty. His clothes were torn. But that wasn't the problem. His eyes. His eyes were empty. He did not smile. He did not speak. He did not run into his mother's arms like he usually did. He just walked past her like she was a stranger and entered the house without removing his shoes. Mama Tola's breath caught in her chest. Her son always removed his shoes. Always. She went inside behind him, whispering, "Tunde, talk to me. What happened?" He sat on the bed, staring at the wall, not blinking. She sat beside him, touching his hand. It was cold, unnaturally cold, like he had been standing inside water for hours. "Tunde, answer me." He did not. And in that moment, a small voice inside her whispered something she didn't want to hear. "This is not my son." Morning came. Mama Tola cooked his favorite meal, yam porridge with palm oil. The aroma filled the entire room. Tunde didn't touch it. He only stared at the food like someone who had forgotten what eating was. He pushed the plate aside gently, without looking up. Mama Tola's fingers shook. "Tunde, why won't you eat? Talk to me, my child." He slowly lifted his head, and she saw it clearly now. The eyes she looked into were not the eyes of a 19-year-old boy. They were old, empty, observing, like someone inside his body was studying how to pretend to be human. That night, Mama Tola sat outside again, unable to sleep. She watched him through the small opening in the door. Tunde didn't lie down. He didn't stretch out. He didn't even yawn. He sat upright all night, staring, listening, breathing only when necessary. The next morning, something even stranger happened. Tunde came out of the room to sweep the compound. The sun was bright. Mama Tola stood outside watching him because Seer wouldn't let her go back inside. He moved stiffly, like his body belonged to someone else. Then she saw it. His shadow. When Tunde bent down, his shadow straightened. When he stood still, his shadow trembled slightly. When he walked, the shadow hesitated for half a second before following him. Mama Tola felt her knees weaken. Her lips shook. Her eyes filled with tears she didn't understand. She whispered, "Tunde, what did you bring back with you?" That afternoon, she went to see Mama Ajoke, the oldest woman in the village and the only person rumored to understand the forest. The moment Mama Ajoke heard what was happening, her eyes darkened. She closed her eyes and said slowly, "When a person enters a sacred place with an unprotected heart, something else may return inside their body." Mama Tola held her chest. "What do you mean?" "Your son may still be in the forest. Something else may be wearing his face." Mama Tola broke into tears, shaking. "What do I do?" she cried. Mama Ajoke placed a hand on her shoulder. "You must watch him closely. Fake humans always reveal themselves, usually at night." Terror clung to Mama Tola's heart, but she had to be strong for her son. That night, she didn't sleep again. She stayed near his room. Everything was silent at first. Then she heard it, a whisper. A whisper that sounded like many voices at once. Voices of people from the village. Voices of people she did not know. They overlapped and mixed like something was practicing how to speak like a human. It wasn't Tunde's voice. It was something copying him, learning, imitating. Mama Tola covered her mouth, crying silently. The next morning, she gathered what little courage she had left. She stood before him. "Tunde, look at me." He lifted his head slowly. "What happened to you in that forest?" His lips stretched into a smile too wide, too forced. "I came back, Mama," he said in a voice that was almost right, but not entirely human. Mama Tola stepped back, shaking. "You are not my son," she whispered. Tunde, or the thing wearing him, did not deny it. It just tilted his head slightly and smiled wider. Mama Tola ran out of the house and didn't stop until she reached Mama Ajoke's hut again. "My son is gone," she cried. "If he's still in the forest, how do I bring him back?" Mama Ajoke looked toward the forest, her eyes full of sorrow. She said, "There is only one way. But you must understand, anybody who enters that forest to confront what took your son does not return the same." Mama Tola held her breath. "And if I don't go," she whispered. Mama Ajoke looked at her with fear. "Then you will keep living with something that learns more about you every single night." A cold wind blew from the forest. A branch snapped deep inside the darkness. And both women turned toward the trees, where something stood, watching them. Everything inside Mama Tola froze. Her real son was out there somewhere. But so was the thing that wanted to keep him forever. The next night, as the moon rose high above Ojumo village, Mama Tola packed her wrapper tightly around her shoulders and stood at the forest entrance. Behind her, the thing wearing her son's face stood silently, smiling at her in the darkness. She took one step toward the trees, then another. She whispered, "Tunde, wherever you are, your mother is coming for you." The forest answered with a low, haunting echo, and the trees opened just enough to let her in. To be continued. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.